Sorry, I look like this.
Welcome to the show. My name's Luke. Today we are joined by Lisa Edinger. Lisa, thanks for making the time to come on.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. This is wonderful. Well, you are walking, living history, which is why I'm so honored to have you on the show. You are the first ever female Muay Thai champion in Pennsylvania, which was actually a big deal to set it all up. I know it's a couple of years ago, but can we jump back to that, talk about that experience, and then we'll get to what's going on with you now?
Yeah. So I remember like Irv asked me if I've ever had like the aspirations of going pro or if like I wanted to. And at the time it was kind of like I had worn away all of like the tournaments and like all of the competition here. And I was like really wanting to just elbow with like actual elbow instead of a pad. So it kind of just played itself out almost like I'd outgrown kind of the AMI circuit. So I needed to go into that realm of being a pro and experiencing and like growing as a fighter. So it just naturally happened. And then I kind of just felt like I was on a good streak. I lost my first pro fight because the girl's from Morocco and had several fights out of country that I wasn't aware about. But I mean, just it is what it is, and you take it with a grain of salt. And after that loss, I just kind of grew and went on to do about a 2-3 fight win streak. And then I was like, all right, let's see about getting a title fight at this point. And Irv agreed, and that was it. That was just how it went down.
Absolutely. It was incredible. I was there for actually both your first fight, even though it was a loss, it was a close fight, and it was the first ever pro Muay Thai for females in Pennsylvania. So a lot of that without making it the whole interview. It's really a shout out to Irv on house, Jen and everybody at USKA, which is now run by Gary Grant, because they were able to get all the licensing, and that was a big deal.
Yes.
But what do you remember from your first pro fight, even though it was a loss, and then we'll take it to the championship fight?
I just remember getting excited about the elbows, honestly, and just kind of like making them like super apparent to the girl, which was instead of like covering them up and like kind of playing my game, it was like I was just more excited to like elbow and just flashing, like literally throwing them out there. So it was kind of clear that they were coming to her. And then the clinch, I think, was the thing that I hadn't played around with too much in the AMI circuit, because they like broke you up pretty quickly. So when it was pro, like she clinched a lot and I wasn't used to it at that point. So that was something that I really had to work on.
And now for your pro fight, it's interesting because both those things, the elbows and the clinch, were a big part of your pro win, your championship win, because I remember the elbows doing a lot of damage. So walk us through your championship fight.
Yeah. So Rima was awesome. She had a lot of experience previously. So she knew how to clinch and how to like solidify getting rid of the elbows. So I had to work my clinch game a lot with her because she was trying to like get rid of the elbows and get rid of the distance. So I worked on it a lot and kind of got used to being in the clinch and trying to like toss her, but she was solid. So she didn't really move too much, but once broken up, I think once I got my distance, I was able to like get her good with some elbows. Didn't cut her, but you know, she's a tough girl.
But having been there live for that fight, you definitely outstruck her, I think, all like pretty much consistently, which must have felt good. And do you remember having a feeling that you were good within like maybe a minute to go at the end of the fight, that you were up, or was it just kind of like keep going until the scores are announced? How did that feel with such the great opportunity you were having there?
Yeah, I felt like I kind of had the upper hand in every situation. I was able to kind of do whatever I wanted at that point. And I remember going back to the corner, and my coach, Eric Karner, was upset because he was like, you don't look like yourself. Like, I need you to like really put on the pressure and like pick it up and like show why you're in this championship fight. So come the fourth and fifth round, it was like game on, and I'm just gonna go full steam ahead. And I think it was like clear to everyone in those rounds that I picked it up, and like you could see why I deserved the belt at that point.
Absolutely. Well, the reason why, and congratulations to you again, and to Coach Crew Eric, I know has been with you since you were an AMI and built you all the way up and all that. But today we're talking about your new gym venture, Burning Spirits Muay Thai. So talk to us about that and how you got to the point where you're opening up a gym. And then I have a bunch of follow-up questions for gym related. It's going to be great.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So I think Eric grew and he moved like further away, and everybody who kind of was under him started like moving away as well and getting into their own type of businesses. Like Billy has his own gym now. So I went to a different gym, had a really bad experience there. The coach and I just had a really bad falling out. So I tried to like venture into other gyms and like dabble and see if there was a place for me. And everybody kind of felt like they wanted to change my style, or like they didn't really adapt it too well. And I felt like I was not in a home, like I did with Eric. So I wanted to kind of have my own home. And my business partner, Derek, he was actually the first person to ever corner me at the WKAs in Virginia. So he has been doing this for over 20 years. And he's like, all right, I think it's time that we both kind of get into our own gym and we spread our knowledge and what we have for people, and show like your experience and your technique and pass that along to other people. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally for it. So it's kind of how it all spawned. And yeah, we're so excited.
Well, I know you've been physically, you and Derek, because you've been putting pictures up on Facebook, you've been physically doing a lot of the renovations. And so what was the building before you purchased it, and what does that renovation process look like so far?
The building was just like a warehouse before. So now we rented it, and there's 2 other spaces in there. So we own the front half, and next to us is going to be like a little skate shop. So that's cool too. So you get the best of both worlds if you're a skater and a fighter. So we have all, like, we're getting the floors done this week. And then as soon as they're done, we get to put the mats down. We drilled all of the holes for our bag poles. We're hanging them from the high beams. So there's showers, locker rooms, bathrooms. So it's completely redone, gutted out. And now, yes, specifically made like for our gym. So it's everything that we wanted it to be now.
And when did you start? When did you first lease it and start the renovation process? Because when you're talking about showers and stuff, that stuff takes some significant time. So
yeah, we had this since April.
Okay.
And kind of COVID put everything at a standstill. So we were anticipating opening in June, and then it was that spike again. So we had to like kind of halt everything again. So it was a slow process to try and get everything, only because of COVID and how much that stalled like inspectors and any construction people being in like close quarters. So It's been a really long process.
Well, and what's your projected opening time now, if you have one?
We are going to open November 1st. I think we're going to try to have like a little party for it. And then officially November 2nd classes will start. That's the Monday. So
Well, this is great. I mean, we're talking only a couple weeks out now at this point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you probably won't really know the answer to this until we're a couple months down the road and we'll have to have you back on. But what are you excited the most about as transitioning from a fighter that's always been a part of gyms to a lead coach, owner, trainer, who's still a fighter? So what are you looking forward to most once you're up and running?
I just love seeing the growth, like how excited people are that like things click and they can see like it's not just throwing crazy things, and it's like actually getting your mind and your body to click with each other and seeing the techniques that's being taught. You're using them in either sparring or even just like on pads. I love seeing growth of students, and like hopefully we'll have a fight team. So hopefully people will be excited to fight under us. I'm really stoked to see that too, to be in the corner of like our first fighters.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure with Derek there with you to come full circle with him from being in your first fight corner and then also journeying through to you being in someone's fight corner will be great. You also know the amateur area very well, having won several national titles. So I think there'll be a lot of confidence there as you bring an amateur up, because you got to probably start with amateurs,
Yeah.
most likely. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, unless you have some pros. But speaking of pros that you might know, you know yourself, of course, is this something that you're comfortable now saying that you're going to train yourself and kind of be improving yourself, and with Derek, of course, and getting to a point where you're taking fights again? Or is that too soon to know for your own career?
I'm actually in the works of maybe fighting out of country come December.
What? That's so great. Okay.
Yeah. So I will be training, still training a ton. My
Sure.
boyfriend holds pads for me because quarantine kind of halted me
Right.
going anywhere. So I was fortunate to have, a fighter hold pads for me at home. So it kind of
Wonderful.
worked out that way. Yeah. So Trent Stump, he holds pads for me, and he's hoping to get fighting again too. But yeah, come December, look out. You should see
Well,
me
tell
on
you
some
what,
fight posters.
yeah, well, once you can, because right now you can't say what it is, right? It's not
Yeah,
official.
yes,
Okay, so once it's official, we'd love to have you back on the show, because I've been covering you since your first pro Muay Thai fight. So it's been nice to just get back in touch with you. And shout out to Trent and really everybody that's been training during COVID, whether it's
Yeah.
been with boyfriends, girlfriends, or with other people. I'm sure it's been a lot of work. So that's exciting. I did have an MMA related question, and that is just how, as you as a coach, are you looking forward to having some MMA fighters come in and train for their stand-up, or do you see, because I know I could get in hot water because there's Muay Thai's its own discipline and it's beautiful. And obviously you are going to be an authentic, I've looked at the website, you're going to be an authentic Muay Thai gym.
Yes.
Are you going to be comfortable saying, nope, we don't want MMA fighters because we want pure Muay Thais? Or are you going to have an MMA? I don't know. I just figured I'd ask, how are you going to connect MMA, or is that going to be wait to be seen?
No, I mean, I think striking for MMA, like you can clearly see more and more MMA influence in striking. So I think it's going to be super important to have MMA fighters come to the gym as well. I wouldn't mind having them come in. Like I love fighting, and I love training, and I love people who are excited about it too. So I'm open arms for everybody who wants to come in.
Well, good. I mean, I didn't want to put you in a bad spot. I just know that you are a Muay Thai practitioner. You've spent a good amount of time in Thailand, right? And I know Eric spent a time and he's directly connected to the Thailand, the actual authentic. And there's a lot of, disagreements about who's authentic, who's not. We're not talking about that so much,
Right.
because you really do want to train up Muay Thai fighters, right? Your goal is to become a gym that can produce more champions in Muay Thai, right? That's the focus. And as a tease for tease for the December fight, is it in works for a belt, or is it in works for just to get international experience? Can you tell me that much, or is that still classified?
It's still up in the air. They're trying to work for a belt, so we'll see. Fingers crossed, it'll be another pro belt, but we'll see. I'll definitely let everybody know.
Okay, well, I can't wait to have you back on, and best wishes, obviously, to not only yourself but Derek, and a shout out to your gym, which is Burning Spirits Muay Thai, right?
Yes, correct.
And are you doing pre-orders? Should people be contacting you? Do a shout out for how you're going to get people through the doors, because obviously you're just about to open.
Yeah, so we still do outdoor classes because the gym obviously is under construction. So we do a class every Saturday at Penn Treaty Park. And then we are doing pre-sales. So we have Zen Planner set up for everybody if you want to do pre-sales. And then we have our phone set up, and you can contact us by Instagram, Facebook, and then through the site as well. So we're all ready to go.
Well, it's been incredible having you on the program today, Lisa. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day, and best wishes with the opening of your gym. Can't wait to have you on again in the future soon.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one.